Hi everybody. This morning we conclude the week of reviews with another tribute concert and another Musicares tribute. This time we're going to be taking a look at the Musicares tribute to Brian Wilson, which was released on DVD in 2006. Some of the artists that participated in this were the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Billy Preston, Michael McDonald, Shelby Lynne, a pianist named Jamie Cullen, pardon me, Jeff Beck, the Bare Naked Ladies, and many, many, many more. Some of my favorites on here are the Backstreet Boys version of When I Grow Up to Be a Man, and but my absolute favorite is Jamie Cullen's version of Sail on Sailor. Now, I was I was kind of surprised about the set list for this show because, as I've said in previous reviews for tribute concerts, for the Musicares tribute concerts, the a lot of the artists typically go for just the hits. Now, while 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 there are plenty of hits on this show, some of the artists went for like the deep tracks, while the Backstreet Boys, like I said a second ago, covered When I Grow Up to Be a Man, and and I was super excited to see that because up to that point, I had never seen it done live before, and they did a tremendous job. And as you know, I think it was the perfect song for them to cover because one of the things I love about the Backstreet Boys is their harmonies, not just on this, but their own catalog of songs. They are great harmony singers, and this is an example of a a great harmony, a great song. This is When I Grow Up to Be a Man, as with many of the Beach Boys songs. Is a great example of a harmony-rich number, and so I think, like I said, this was the perfect song for the Backstreet Boys to cover. Another surprise for me was Richie Sambora's from Bon Jovi doing City Blues. Now, it's it, and the reason it was a surprise for me was because it was not the atypical hit, that it was not from an album that a lot of people knew about. It was from Brian's Getting In Over My Head record, and one number that was not a surprise to me is the Bare Naked Ladies version of Till I Die, and they did it just like Brian did it on his Live at the Roxy record, where they did a version of the Bare Naked Ladies song Brian Wilson, which they wrote about Brian Wilson, and then they went straight into Till I Die. And that is another example of a great harmony song, because like the Bare Naked Ladies, like the Backstreet Boys, are all about harmony. And I think that was a great, kind of a no-brainer that they would choose that one. But another kind of favorite of mine and was Jeff Beck's version um, of Surf's Up, and I thought this was the perfect song for him to choose, because the way he did it, it leaves a lot of room for him to stretch out and really experiment with the piece. And Surf's Up is kind of an airy song anyway, so, and it kind of, it's a really melodic number, and so it gave Jeff Beck a chance to really stretch out. The only song that I didn't particularly care for was John Legend's version of I Just Wasn't Made for These Times. I don't think he had the right, now I like John Legend's, otherwise, but I think, I think this one was, I don't think he had the right song, the right type of voice for this song. And on kind of a bittersweet, moment in the show was Michael McDonald and Billy Preston's version of Don't Worry Baby, because it was this song, this performance, if not the very last performance by Billy Preston, one of his last performances, because it was shortly after this that he passed away from kidney disease in 2005, and so that was really bittersweet to see him for one last time. And the backup band, unlike the Neil tribute and the backup band for the Brian Wilson tribute was Brian's actual touring band, and so I think this one, the Brian Wilson tribute was and no disrespect to the backup band for the Neil tribute, but I think the Brian Wilson tribute was a little better musically, because they weren't, unlike the Neil tribute, they weren't, sticking to the, they weren't copying from the records. They were, a little more inventive with the arrangements of the songs. And another one of my favorites that I was not too surprised that she chose was Darlene Love, and she does a version of Wouldn't It Be Nice, because I wasn't too surprised that she chose this number, because it is kind of right up her alley, because it was done, kind of like in the Spector vein, and she comes from the Phil Spector school of music. And like I said earlier, another one of my favorites was Jamie Cullum's version of Sail on Sailor. Now, Sail on Sailor has been one of my favorite Beach Boys songs of all time for years. And I was super excited to see that he had chosen this one, because up to this point I had always wanted to see Sail on Sailor done live, and the arrangement was tremendous, and I think the addition of the gospel choir was a tremendous one. Now, I can't remember what the choir's name was, but it was tremendous. And when we another tribute concert that we're going to take a look at a little farther down the road, called the Start Pack, which is a celebration of Fender guitar. Jamie Cullum participated in that as well. So look forward to hearing about the Start Pack concert soon. And so I hope you enjoy this.